In the dimly lit streets of Rivergate Town, shadows danced with fear, whispering tales of a man who instilled dread in the hearts of the bravest souls. This man was not a thief or a robber. Rather, he was a collector of debts known more by his nickname, Iron Hand. The name itself evoked images of cold steel and iron fists, symbolizing a merciless approach to the very fabric of humanity. In a town where even the bravest trembled at the sound of his footsteps, Iron Hand became the embodiment of terror, striking fear into the hearts of many, including innocent children and despairing fathers alike. His visits were an unwelcome storm, sweeping through Rivergate like thunder rumbling ominously. With relentless brutality, he would kick down doors and drag men from their homes with the same ease as gathering rainwater in a storm. The fear in the air thickened as he approached, and families could only huddle together, praying for a miracle. Often crowds would gather, faces twisted in horror, witnessing the wretched sight of a man pleading for mercy under the unyielding glare of Iron Hand. Each time his chilling voice would echo, "Pay your debt or your bones will." It was a dreadful promise, a grim reminder of the consequences of financial despair. Moses Kareem, a man estranged from love, compassion, and family, found solace in his reputation. Iron Hand was who he chose to be, despite his mother's anguished pleas for him to reconsider his choices. They were all mere words, forgotten amidst a life paved with malice. His family distanced themselves, succumbing to the suffocating shame of his character. Yet within him lay a twisted satisfaction. He fed off the fear he instilled in others. He convinced himself that power was rooted in fear. But the deeper he delved into this harsh reality, the more he lost himself. It was a life dictated by violence, where his heart turned to stone and all ties to humanity waned. The night the rain fell like the furious tears of the heavens, Moses' fate began to unravel. A summons from his boss directed him to an old man named Daniel, who had owed for far too long. Thrumming with the eagerness of a predator sensing prey, Moses made his way to the frail man's door. As the door creaked open, revealing Daniel's weary form, the storm outside faded in comparison to the storm brewing within Moses. The old man's frailty punctured Moses' armor of disdain, but only momentarily, as anger flared when Daniel requested more time. With his heart twisted in greed, Moses, who once relished wielding iron-fisted fear, soon found himself confronted not just by an old man, but by the reflection of his soul, a flicker of humanity hidden beneath layers of hard exterior. In that instant of confrontation, as the old man's words hung heavy in the air, Moses' grip tightened, not only around Daniel but around his own conscience. What began as a simple collection would cascade into a reckoning far greater than Iron Hand could have anticipated. The rain outside poured vigorously, drowning the shadows of self-imposed terror as an unsettling realization set in. Perhaps fear wasn't the only power at play. Perhaps there existed a force that could shatter the iron grip he held on Rivergate Town. Moses walked through the bustling market, the sounds of haggling and laughter echoing around him. But today, a different sound caught his attention. Singing radiated from a small church nearby. Curiosity piqued. He felt an unusual tug, prompting him to step inside. The atmosphere within was charged. The pastor's voice resonated like a clarion call as he preached about forgiveness and redemption. "Some believe their sins are too great for God's mercy," he declared. "But no heart is too hard for God to change." These words pierced Moses' hardened exterior, stirring emotions long buried within him. As Moses sat in the back, memories flooded back. He could hear the echoes of his past actions, the pain he had caused, and the violence that had defined him. Yet, as the pastor continued, hope flickered within him. Even the most violent man can be reborn if he repents sincerely. In that moment, he felt as if a weight had been lifted, a glimmer of possibility shining through his despair. His hands trembled and tears welled up in his eyes. The strong man known for instilling fear was beginning to shatter under the weight of grace. Rising from his seat, he approached the altar, falling to his knees. "God, I've done terrible things," he wept. The transformation began that day, when Moses surrendered his life to Jesus Christ. However, this was merely the beginning of an arduous journey. Prayer alone wouldn't suffice. He had to confront those he had wronged. Each day, he bravely walked from house to house, confronting his past. The fear in the eyes of those he had hurt served as a painful reminder of who he once was. Some people slammed doors in his face, others hurled insults, yet he persevered. Each apology became a step toward healing. Finally, he stood before the door of Old Man Daniel, the man he had nearly killed. Kneeling on his doorstep, Moses confessed his past transgressions, tears cascading down his face. "I came to ask for forgiveness." The old man smiled softly, proclaiming, "My son, I forgave you that day." As tears flowed, the burden of guilt lifted, marking a true turning point. Years rolled on, and the man once known as Iron Hand transformed into a beacon of hope. Where once he had inflicted pain, now he offered peace. Instead of threats, he found power in compassion, mending homes and helping the needy. A townsfolk asked, "Are you really the same Iron Hand?" With a soft smile, Moses replied, "Yes, but God changed my heart." As the town, once gripped by fear, now embraced him, sharing his story of redemption. Proof that no matter the darkness of one's past, the future can still be illuminated by grace.